It was the first decentralized autonomous organization. It was the first time that we really thought decentralization can happen. And so this is the cost of, the price of learning, I guess. Now, over the course of the next years, ICOs came on the scene. It wasn't until 2017 until we really saw this massive uprise in the ICO space. And it was because this new form of capital could provide not only a tokenized model for companies that were building just to have a simple value transfer, but companies who were building on the blockchain. And so you'll see in these dots inside of one of these is Sense. This is our company. We completed our ICO at the end of November of 2017. So just rounding December, we were a newly funded company. We had been venture-backed by Tim Draper, Norwest, Greycroft, other really incredible VCs. And our company, Sensay, was building a messaging platform, AI-backed, and really our goal was to be an interoperable messaging system to allow anyone to connect to anyone, anywhere, and without intermediaries. We connected people across borders. And we realized that inside of our messaging system, we had a token, and this token was called Sensay Coins, and that the token was used as a value exchange. And so we could easily make a token, our token now called Sense. So this is why we raised an ICO. In the process, what we learned is that this is a new type of venture capital. Forever, venture capital is shaken up. So the question keeps coming up of, do you think we're in a bubble? And I think that that question is asked a lot. Are we in a bubble? And I think that, certainly we just saw a lot of bubbles on the screen, but that entire market, even to date, when we're rounding into 2018, we're at less than $5 billion. So what I think is that cryptocurrency is actually not a bubble. Cryptocurrency is more like the pin. Everything else has been the bubble thus far. Fiat money is the bubble. It's just been one that's been growing for a little while. Thank you. I like you guys. And centralization is also a bubble. This is one type of structure, and it's a structure that's been working for a while, but it's a structure that we're finding really quickly that as we globalize ourselves and as we have access to everyone everywhere, it's not really working out. The decentralized autonomous organization is a great model. It just happens to have, in that instance, not been on the most secure systems, but we're still working on it. So to give a better view of this, let's look at like the total global digital landscape. Let's look at the real numbers. We have about 7.5 billion people, and from that, half of us are on the actual internet. Now, more than half of us are on the internet. 2/3 of us are on the internet if you count mobile. So there are about 5 billion devices today. That's staggering. That's an amazing number, yet most of them are still using SMS to message. Messaging is by far the top activity that we do on our mobile devices. Payments are second. And so I put up Facebook Messenger users as, and I didn't include WhatsApp. If you include WhatsApp, which they acquired a while ago, and yesterday at F8, it was just announced that the CEO of WhatsApp has left Facebook. So this is big news, considering he left about $1 billion on the table of vesting to do so, because he fundamentally believes that what they're building and how they're building it is in the wrong model. He thinks that the power should be in the hands of the people, and it shouldn't be centralized. It shouldn't be in a format in which your data is getting scraped as you're sending messages, and it's being retargeted for advertising. So that's just new news that came up, but I thought, it's really interesting. And on top of that, this study that was done on the cryptocurrency users. So in 2017, May of 2017, so about a year ago now, Cambridge and MIT did a study, and they said that there were 5 million cryptocurrency users. So I went at the same rate of inflation as Bitcoin, which is about 10x, and today we're a little bit more than that, actually, since that time. And I put 50 million, just to say, let's round the math. So let's just assume it is 50 million. It's really hard to quantify how many cryptocurrency users there are, though, because you'd have to look at how many wallets there are and are those wallets funded. There's really a lack of data that's out there. But at 50 million total wallets, or total users who actually have cryptocurrency, that means it's less than 1% of the total mobile population. That's less than 1% of people, even though 2/3 of the world's humans have a mobile device. So why is adoption taking so long? And does that sound like a bubble? That sounds like a really tiny amount to me, and it sounds like we have a world of opportunity sitting in front of us to keep building. What they do use is social capital. So they're not really using cryptocurrency yet, and they're not really using digital capital, but they're using social capital. So 3 billion people are trading all of their time and all of their data and all of their energy for social capital. So you are earning something. You're earning numbers. You're earning hearts. You're earning thumbs. You're earning likes. You're earning something. You're earning vanity metrics, essentially. You're earning numbers that represent usage on a platform, but don't really give you any value in exchange. And so how can we provide value, true value, for people who are taking all of this time and putting all this energy? I think today we know now more than ever how valuable our data is. I mean, truly, look at Cambridge Analytica and the scandals, and I mean, it's really an incredible time to recognize that our data and all of our time that for decades we've been giving to the internet for free is worth something. So I wanted to show a little bit of what that data is. There's a lot of stuff on this slide, but basically of the billions of people that are logged every day across all of the services, think about how you're kind of like a pillow in a pillow fight. Like you're just like exploded feathers across the entire internet. And it would be impossible to collect all of your data in all of the places that it is. You have so much that you've done, transactions and shopping on Amazon and all of your email and every time you've ever connected a service because the login was more convenient. Your data is really spread out everywhere. And it's being leveraged by a lot of platforms to provide earnings for them. So underneath the platforms that we use on the surface, we're using a lot of social networks. Underneath those, the underlying platforms, the big data providers, they have billions of profiles and billions of consumers. They have so much information on you. And at this point, AI knows more about you than your own mom does. There's a really great movie called Do You Trust This Computer? Just came out here in LA. It was screened. It's a really good one. I recommend watching it. But this is basically a summary of what they know. So everything that is captured on you, what is known about you, and this is how the algorithms are able to manipulate you, because they can easily target you and figure out exactly what it is that you will and will not respond to, positively and negatively, and what you will buy, and how you might react. So this shows that data is becoming more and more and more valuable. Now, we can demand privacy, we can ask for different ways in which we have the ability to give permissions to use our data, but right now, really, we want to just think about a better usage of our time, and can we, the user, really own our own data? How do we do this? So the value, if you want to put a number on it, is about $130 billion a year just on mobile alone. So just if you think about mobile advertising, the retargeting, basically every action that you take is something that an advertiser is loving to be able to have access to so they can target you. Now the advertisers don't love to pay the platforms necessarily because the platforms earn a lot of money. I think Facebook was $40 billion last year. It's a lot, and nobody else is putting that in their pocket. But the great thing about cryptocurrency is with microtransactions, you could put it in your pocket. So with Sense, we wanted to give people a reward for all of those digital contributions that they've done, and we started with GitHub and Reddit because we really love developers, and we're a developer-forward platform. And we wanted to allow people to scan everything that they've done on the internet and provide a reward for it. And as we did this, we realized that, at our essence, at our core, we're actually really a communications company. We are taking the things that have been communicated by people, all of that data that you've shared, and all of those things that you've contributed, all of your digital content, and we're giving a reward back. But what's even more important is the fact that people are still doing this on so many platforms. It would be nearly impossible for us to make a connector to everyone. So instead, what we saw was that on all of the social networks, people are starting to get smart. They're putting in their Ethereum wallet addresses to get essentially a tip. Chat with me and give me a little bit of cryptocurrency and I'll give you some tips. You want me to look at the UI of your app or give you an audit of your code or look at your design? Just pay me a little bit and I'm happy to do it. Every single person is a free agent, and so for the first time, this person's able to transact using a method that's basically non-traceable, it's anonymous, and it's really easy to connect. But how do you make that chat happen? On social networks, you have to follow each other, and each one has its own nuances. So we decided that we would build a Chrome extension. This is a browser extension. We'll build it for others as well. It works with MetaMask, and it's as easy as soon as it sees an Ethereum address inside of a web page, it automatically says, this address makes sense. You can send this person a message, so if you wanted to, you could type out something that's going to go to them, and you can choose an amount of Ether or any other ERC20 token that you want to send them. And you can hit them up with a message. That message goes directly to the messenger that they've connected. In this case, he's connected Telegram. That's our first one. And we are letting people basically send essentially a ping. Think about it as like the first contact. This is out in June, so we'll be launching, and we're allowing everyone to monetize all of their own profiles and any digital content that they create. So this is really a truly decentralized product. We're just finding your address, letting you monetize on the things that you're already doing, and we're really excited that this is going to be the first product that we're launching that's going to allow anyone anywhere, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, even if you're on Patreon and you're already earning cryptocurrency on your content, we're letting you grab an additional connection to a person and get a tip for it. So that's the first start with that. Now the way that we do this and the responsibility that we all have is we're living in this centralized system. We're living in a system that we're currently working to disrupt. We're literally working to disrupt everything, every industry. Cryptocurrency is just the very, very tip, and it happens to be disrupting the financial industry, but you guys have heard about, over the last couple of days, healthcare and education and every other possible sector, and the benefit is that literally everyone can get involved. And so on our platform, we're bridging the gap between the centralized world of applications and the decentralized world of dApps, decentralized applications. We're allowing developers to build on our platform, so we have a full open SDK. And during our ICO, if you are is anyone in the audience running an ICO or currently raising money on a token sale or considering it? So if you are, our model was that we first sold to developers because we're a developer-forward platform. Has anybody purchased tokens in an ICO before? Wow, that's amazing. Keep your hand up if you found it to be easy. We have one developer, maybe two developers. You guys should connect. The first group and the second group, you should connect. And this is how we created a really amazing ecosystem. So we wanted to provide tools for developers, and we also wanted to make it really easy. One thing I will say about the space in general with blockchain, the entire purpose is community, and the entire purpose is collaboration. And so, we see a lot of competitive companies, we see a lot of ICO pitches, we see a lot of people vying for, all of the different funds coming in, but I think that it's not about competition. I think it actually is about collaboration, which is why we want to let as many people build on our platform as possible and build with us. We are also going to be announcing for July, we'll be launching on the EOS platform. So we are on Ethereum today. We're an ERC20 token. We love EOS as well. We think EOS is fantastic because it's super fast transactions. It allows us to do things for free or low fees. And we call ourselves sort of polychainerists. We're blockchain agnostic. We like to be across the board on all the chains. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because we believe that every single human is an entrepreneur. Every single one of you in the audience right now is an entrepreneur. You're enterprising, your skills and your life experience are valuable. Everything that you've done, whatever it is, even if it's gardening or raising a cat, the things that you do in life that you can teach another human are super valuable. And so we think that today you have this ability to leverage all the relationships that you have, and social networks have provided us that benefit and value. We've connected the world. We just haven't connected you to the people that you need the most sometimes. We've connected you to the people you know the most. And you also have relationships now with machines. The machines are interacting with you every day, and soon you'll be talking to chatbots really frequently. That's the next thing that's coming up. And so we want you to be able to create value with humans and machines, both. Now the last thing is, I really always love to show that the reason that we are able to move into this new era is because of this thing called ikigai, human purpose. We are, as a species, able to identify what we love and what we're good at and what the world needs. And actually, what gets you paid isn't really that important anymore. Because naturally, if you do those three things, money is going to follow. You're going to find that if you do what you love and you do it a lot and you do what you're good at and you do what society needs, and you find that intersection of those three things, that capital comes, and you're going to find that there's a new definition of value. And I think that's the other thing that the blockchain and cryptocurrency provide. So we like to live with this model, and this is why we built our company around entrepreneurs. Finally, this is from our office. I wanted to just answer a question that most people may have on their mind. Our engineers wrote this on our whiteboard recently. So to hodl or not to hodl, if you are wondering what HODL is, it's really hold, but it was written by someone who was a little inebriated when Bitcoin was going down on Reddit one day, so it stuck. And hold on for dear life is the other acronym, but basically, you know, the answer, in my opinion, is yes. The answer is always yes. We have seen extreme volatility, but if you look at the overall arc, it's always up. And so I think that we have to continue to support this very thing that we are working so hard to create. I don't think that we're in a bubble. I think that we are witnessing a lot of the bursting of a lot of bubbles. And I think that we're on a really crazy ride because it's full of a lot of volatility. But hey, if you've been in technology for any amount of time, and especially if you were in it in the late 90s, early 2000s, like I was, you're already ready to be strapped in. So thank you so much for being here today. I really have appreciated everyone. We are hiring, and I'm really excited to say that we've been adding a lot of amazing people to our team of all types. So if you're a marketer, if you're a community person, we would love to talk to you. Please come and make sense with us. Thank you.